So today's lesson is all about why you hit the ground before the ball. Why you fat shots, why you duff shots. We're going to hopefully explain to you the reasons behind why this happens and a couple of fixes that you can do that will make a difference to your ball striking straight away. Hitting the ground before the ball can be so frustrating. You can hit a really great drive down the middle of the fairway and then all of a sudden chunk the ball 10 or 20 yards and you feel it's such a waste of a great drive. So hitting it heavy essentially is doing this kind of action. Casting or grounding the club out before the golf ball is disastrous in terms of outcome on the course. We definitely want to be presenting the club with more shaft lean, hitting down on the golf ball and getting that feeling of pressuring that ball on turf, off squeezing off the ground every single time. Okay, so what happens when we hit the ground before the ball? Essentially, our low point of our swing is too early. So we need to look at why that might happen. To help explain this, I'm going to use a hula hoop. And you'll see here I've got the yellow tape at the bottom. Let's talk about that representing the bottom of my swing. So essentially, that yellow tape is going to be before the ball with a heavy shot. And we want it to be with an iron shot after the golf ball. Some 3 to 4 inches after the golf ball is ideal. So I put this hula hoop around my body now and imagine this obviously as the center of my swing. If I make a golf swing and swing through the golf ball as I want to, we'd want this yellow sticker to be in front of the ball at contact. Now, what tends to happen with a lot of golfers, they make a backswing where they sway and move a long way off the golf ball. And then if they don't recover, they stay back here and then they're heavy. Some other golfers can quite often go to the left in the backswing with their upper body, so kind of like this, and in the downswing, hang back and move back this way. So it kind of ends up at contact with their center, their belly button, if you like, and the sternum too far behind the golf ball. So having the feeling of us staying pretty centered as we turn and then moving laterally forward is a good way of thinking about it. So centered as we turn on the way back and then laterally going forward to make sure we hit ball and turf. So that's just really a little visual to try and show you how that works. The other thing that can cause you to hit fat shots is casting. So we can have a fairly good looking body swing, but on the way down we can put too much acceleration to these hands and move them away in a casting motion too early. Most of the time when we do this, we actually push our upper body towards target as a push and pull mechanism. And then from there, what happens is, obviously the club head overtakes the hands and we hit the ground before the golf ball. So we're either moving our body incorrectly or we're casting the club. Now some of it can be caused by conceptual stuff, like trying to move behind the golf ball or trying to lift the golf ball. But invariably what that causes is to move in the ways I'm describing. So from a conceptual standpoint, what we're looking to do is turn without moving too much behind the golf ball. I would say up to about 2 inches with our head, with an iron shot. And then feel in the downswing that we would move our hips towards target to like recenter and go slightly towards a lateral bump and then rotate onto the golf ball without our head moving backwards or behind. And at the same time we do that, we want to maintain our wrist angles on the way down for a period of time. So we'd want to keep this lang angle so when the hand is opposite our hip, the club head is above our head. We want that kind of position and then turn through the golf ball. So what I'm going to ask you to practice is 2 things. One is staying very centered on the backswing, and one is about starting the downswing with a slight lateral movement and also maintaining your lag angle. And then from a hitting point of view, we want to do a lot of hitting stuff, potentially with an alignment stick on the ground and practice just hitting the ground after the alignment rod. So let's talk you through those things. So we're having very much a quick fix drill, which will be at the end. And we're also going to talk now about the exact move we'd want you to do. So in the backswing, let's try and keep my head very centered on the golf ball. I said if it moves a touch to the right, that's okay. But if I just close my lead eye and make sure I don't lose any visibility of the golf ball, if I'm moving off with that lead eye closed, we'll struggle to see the ball. So that's the feeling and checkpoints for the lateral movement in the backswing, or keeping more centered. In order to achieve that, obviously we're making sure that we turn and extend our body as we move back, and we are going to left bend as well, which is this way. That keeps us in that centered position. In terms of the downswing, just go to the top of your backswing, remove your thumbs off the grip, give it some lateral bump, and let the arms just drop down, keeping the shaft, not extending further away from your thumbs, or even moving the shaft towards your thumbs to give you that increased lag sensation. And then from there, turn onto the golf ball. So the more we practice centered, lateral, bringing the club down a few inches, maintaining that lag, that's the moves we want to practice as much as we can. Ideal world, you might do 2 practice swings like that, slow, then hit a shot. Nice ball and turf, squeeze it out there down the middle of the fairway. So definitely the kind of interaction with the ground we want. Ball, then ground, rather than ground, then ball. So the second exercise I want you to do is take an alignment rod or something of that ilk, place it just inside your trail foot, make some practice swings initially, making sure you hit way after that alignment rod, but also then we're actually going to hit golf balls in the same scenario, where if obviously we bottom out or cast the club too much, we will make contact with the alignment rod. So anything where we don't hit the alignment rod is good. That one, I could have had a bit more turf after the ball, but I certainly brushed the ground. So my radius of my swing could have been a little bit lower for sure, but definitely gave me the feeling of being more forward and not hanging back and getting that ground before ball, which is definitely not what I want to